So it's 5:30 in the morning. I'm laying in bed. I haven't slept yet. I couldn't sleep. Can't sleep. Mind's just spinning and spinning and spinning. Just don't want to stop. You can see by the little crack out of my blinds there that it's getting the sun's coming out and the birds are chirping. So maybe I should just get up and go carve. Maybe that's what I should do instead of lying here for another 2 hours trying to sleep. Yep, that's it. Enough of this nonsense. I'm going carving. I'm gonna carve an owl. Little owl for the giveaway. What a cool chair. Hello. Fuck. They're both empty. Going carving. Gotta get a coffee. Gotta go to Timmy Hortons. Going carving.
Good morning. What can I get for you?
Can I get an extra large double, please?
Extra double, okay.
Yeah, going carving.
That's all?
Yep.
Thank you, driver.
Thanks. The birds are chirping. Speaking of birds, isn't that a cute little bugger? So I don't know, for some of you new followers or regular followers, this piece of wood is a piece of wood that I found on the beach, and I carried it across the road. It was like this tall. This whole, I think it's birch. It's all, the whole log is hollow. I'll show you the other part of the log. This is the bottom half of it where I cut it here. Now, I sanded this down to about 150 grit. It still needs a few more coats of gloss, Rust-Oleum. Now, let me get the camera off the tripod because I want to explain to you. I need to explain to you what's happening. And this is just basically a Jordy Does video. Like, I'm going to be doing a few different things. If you want to follow along, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But you can see, the quilting in there. That sanded smooth. So that's what quilting is. Goes all up here. That's all quilting. This is a fantastic piece of wood. I left some bark on it. I sanded some of the bark so you can see the color of the bark. I don't know what type of wood this is. It's got the fungus in here. What's that? Yeah, the spalting. Let's look it up here. All the spalting. I did get my airbrush out and paint in here black. It has a bottom. I put a bottom in there. Plywood, but you don't see it here because I cut up and around and I put the plywood up under there. Then it's got sheet metal on that, aluminum. So look at all the spalting here. Now I didn't sand the back too good because nobody's really going to be looking at the back piece. So the problem that I have with this, and this is like I didn't even carve the back side of this owl because you're not going to see it. The problem I had, I am going to carve an owl like this today for the giveaway. The problem I had is I use these, let's see if I can even pull them out. Sorry, unprofessional cameraman. I use these string lights or whatever they're called. These color changing lights. They didn't shine up enough through the piece at nighttime. Let me show you. I might be able to show you a little clip I sent to Just Carve Rob. And then Just Carve Rob, because I was asking Just Carve Rob for ideas what to carve. Sorry, how I should light this up. So I'm going to take these lights out. Like just rip them right out. Okay, boom. Those are out. Now, Just Carve Rob gave me a great idea, and I was spent about 2 hours researching it to make this. Let me get a tape measure. I'm going to measure how tall it is. Actually, it's 2 foot 4 inches wide down there, and it's 2 foot 4 inches tall. So I think Just Carve Rob said it would make a great piece for a coffee table with the owl in there, but it should be a lamp, like have a post on the back here and have a turning lamp so if somebody wants to use it to read, but it's too big for a coffee table this way. I would have to cut some of this off, I think. And I don't want to. So he says, so he gave me that great idea, and I'm like, that's such a great idea, Just Carve Rob. And then he says, ask your buddy Larry Dibbs, because Larry's good at lighting and likes lighting stuff, and I like Larry's opinion on stuff. And so if you guys have good friends, you know, Larry's a good friend, and I know him in real life over there at Wowsy Workshop. Ask your friends if you're stuck on something. Send them a picture. And then I sent a bunch of pictures to Larry. I had, you know, the pipe kind of lighting that you can go to the hardware store, buy that piping and make the lighting, or one coming up here like this, or one in the back. But Larry pondered it for a while. Larry's been dealing with some back problems. If everybody can wish Larry good wishes. Larry said, what's that? It's called shelf fungus that grows on trees. He sent me a picture. It's, you know, how like trees will grow that fungus on there that looks like mushrooms growing off the tree. He looked it up, and he found a picture. Somebody, not like this, but somebody had a piece of fungus, right, with the light underneath it. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to attempt it, but it's tricky because this is not a straightforward back piece to screw it to. Now, where is it? I got Mod Podge here. This is the black Mod Podge. Oh no, sorry, Epoxy Sculpt. This stuff is like, well, it's Epoxy Sculpt. This is the black stuff. So I thought maybe if I have problems once I carve that, sticking it to the back, it doesn't go quite tight, I can use this black Epoxy Sculpt. I got some paints here to do some painting if I want to paint it. The fungus thing that I'm going to carve. Now, where's that light? Here it is. So this is a puck light, and I have like 5 or 6 of these. So this is a nice thin light that just plugs in. I know I'm rushing right now. It plugs into the wall. It's got an on-off switch. So this puck light will be perfect underneath this fungus thing. I'm thinking this is this piece of wood here is poplar wood from the tree that's getting cut down. And I'm thinking it's dry, but it's not dry. Like this is from that pile over there. This big tree's getting cut down soon. I get the burls on it. Like, look, it's all been de-leafed, but it's starting to grow new branches and everything. But look at the size of this big massive burl there. I get that. They're painting the house, it looks nice. Yeah, look at the size of that big burl. So it's got crazy grain in it. So also these pieces, this is like a piece of a crotcher or something like that, or a burl. That's why I have it. But this will have crazy grain in it too. So I'm gonna try and make this like, my point is, I'm gonna try and carve this so it looks like one of those burls. Don't paint it. Sand it really nice so you see the texture of the grains, because this is kind of a natural thing, right? It's natural. So do I want to have something that's painted brown in here or gray, or do I want to carve this up and sand it so it's natural looking? Comprende? So that's what I'm doing. I got my airbrush here today, so we're going to be doing some airbrushing. Like, I'm not very good at it, but I airbrushed around that owl's eyes. That owl eyes, I did some airbrushing on the tree house. That owl eyes, I did some airbrushing. So I'm just practicing, and I copied Ryan Cook, and I got the same one as he's got. Now, that hollow log, here's the other one. Here's the whole piece of it. I haven't posted anything for sale in a long time. I don't have that much wood to carve, actually. You know, if you look at this, you'll be like, what are you talking about? You don't have much wood to carve. Well, I don't, for the size of carve. I like carving logs like this size. So here's that big one. Big gnarly thing. It's all hollow in there. Yep, this is what I carried across the road. That looks like a fungus singing down in there. So this is going to take a long time to clean up. Oh yes it is. It might even be cottonwood. I don't know. There's the grain. There's the bark. But I haven't seen cottonwood bark look like that ever. Birch bark doesn't look like that. The farmer here thinks that's arbutus. Arbutus bark does not look like that. Obviously this is the root. Anyways, what am I going to start on? So this piece, I'm going to carve an owl kind of like this one. Just carve Rob Loves It. He says it's a cute little hooter. So this is another piece. Let me put my phone down for a second. Stand by, please. This piece of cedar, Western red cedar, is the same cedar as that. That owl's carved from that. So what I call this cedar, I call this cedar overgrown hedge cedar. It's just a big hedge tree. So it's not the best cedar to carve. But if you don't have much wood to carve and you want to carve an owl, well, a little owl, I'm going to carve it. I'm going to carve a little owl on this, and I'll have a little base for the giveaway. Now, Jordy needs a new chainsaw. Yes, I do have the money to buy the chainsaw myself, but I'm going to be donating some carvings pretty soon this week, I think. I got to make the video. I'm going to donate some carvings. I'll ship them worldwide, like this owl. I'm going to ship it worldwide. Whoever chips in through PayPal or online banking will be entered to win one of my carvings. I think I can sell. I don't have a problem selling my carvings. No, I don't have a problem making money at it. But I think it's a great way. It works for both of us. I have a chance of losing, but I don't care really, because I give back lots. I just donated 3 carvings to a charity. It's a good thing, because you guys have a chat. Some of you might not want my carvings. I don't know. I really don't care. But some of you might want a chance to win one of my carvings, and I'll ship them worldwide. Even that epoxy pour pyramid one I did. I talked to Spike about it. Spike's the one that convinced me to have the giveaway, and Spike says, well, they need, if it to plug in, say in the UK or anywhere in New Zealand or something, you have different power. All you need to do is buy a power adapter. Boom, you're set. It'll plug in. So I'll ship that worldwide. So I am having the giveaway. Just Carve Rob, I asked him to chip in some things. He's going to chip in some little caricatures, some of his little guys. I asked Larry Dibbs to chip in, and Larry Dibbs is going to chip in. He's going to carve a wood spirit, he said, on a piece of birch. Anyways, that's it. I don't want anybody else chipping in. That's good enough. It makes it too complicated. So what do I do first? Do I cut the little fungus thing in here, or do I carve the owl? I think I'll carve the bullshit thing first. I think I'll do this first, because if I'm, and this cedar's bone dry. Now look at this, for example. I'm saying this while I remember, and when I don't sleep and when I make videos, that's when I talk the most, so I'm sorry. So this crack, see the crack here? Yep. I'm just going to put it around back. Or you could put the crack, depends how you want to do your owl. If you want your owl's face coming this way, and then the wing here, you can put the crack on the side, so where the two wings meet right here, it will hide it. But I think I'm just going to put the crack on the back of it. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to start this bullshit first. This is cracked. So if I carve it and it dries more, is it going to crack more? Obviously, yes. So should I use this? Oh boy. Yeah, so this is one of those crotch pieces I took home before last winter and dried it out in a spare bedroom at my place. It friggin' warped like crazy, and it's just not, I was gonna make a table out of it, but just not worth it. So I think this piece has that on the bottom of it, but it's got lots of character. You know, once I sand this up good, round these corners off. That's why I was doing it while it's still in there, so I don't have to put it in the jaw horse again, but I'll round it off better. And I got a try-in. It's gonna be tricky. This is too big. Like, how am I gonna, look how big that is. Sorry, way too big. Freaking huge. What the fuck is going on here? Yeah, I think with some shaping, this will work. Yeah, I think so. Anyways, that sucked. I don't feel like putting my dust mask on right now. So I'm going to block out this owl. I'm going to show you guys. I'll hook up my microphone. So remember, we got this crack. This is the only place it's going to crack too. So first of all, I'm going to cut this down to size. And all I'm going to do for this is I'm going to put this... Sorry, I know I'm filming like a freaky cameraman today, but this is just a Jordy Does. I'm going to put the log here, and I'm going to cut a couple screws and go underneath here up into the log. That's just like anybody that doesn't have a jaw horse. All you need is a piece of plywood with your log the way it is right now. Put your plywood down on the log. Pretend this pen's plywood. Put some screws through the plywood. Flip the plywood over. Then you got a base, because the plywood's going to be down there. Then you're carving, put it on a rock if you want, or put it on your desk or something. That's how you do that. Anyways. Okay, so all I'm going to be using today is my battery saws. I might switch over to a gas saw, my little Echo 2511. For the regular subscribers, I'm sorry I got to say this. This is the Steel 140 MSA 140C battery saw with a steel carving bar on there. It's 12 inch, 50 gauge, so it's thicker. There's two different sizes of carving bars Steel makes. They make the 043 gauge, which is thinner, or they make the 50 gauge, which is thicker. When you buy this saw to put this carving bar on, you do not need to change the sprocket inside. It already has a quarter pitch. So this chain is quarter pitch, 50 gauge, okay? Now this Steel is the older Steel MSA 140. The new Steel MSA 140 is the Steel MSA 70C. This has an 8-inch Canon dime tip bar. If you guys want to buy these Canon bars in Canada, contact Ryan Cook. In the States, Bob King. Just search them on Google. This is the new saw. The only difference I really see with this saw, I don't care about the oil thing, like you can see, they say you can see better, is this has speed control. But you know what? I don't use speed control when I use these battery saws. They run slow enough. It's full throttle, harder to the touch or lighter to the touch. Maybe I'll use a speed control a bit, but when you buy this saw, it comes with the AK30 battery. This one's fully charged, and a charger. I suggest just buying the saw, this one or that one, whatever your Steel shop has. They might not know anything about carving bars. If they look it up and they say it's on back order, just order it. It will come in 2 or 3 weeks. It will be there. It just takes oil. I just basically use canola oil, use vegetable oil, any kind of oil you can get. Put them in these. I don't know. This thing runs so slow compared to gas. You could probably put water in here and it would friggin' work. But don't listen to me. So that's all you need to carve in your backyard. It's not loud. It's not smoky. You know, if you use canola oil, it's good for your grass. It's good for your garden. It's not going to harm anything. So anyways, then once you get more into it, you can buy an extra battery and buy the quick charger. So I have a quick charger in my closet there with its battery charging. If I was going to use this battery full throttle, like this saw full throttle carving hard, by the time this battery was burnt out, like worn out of juice, that one would almost be ready. So anyways, let's block out this silly little hooter. So what I'm going to do first is just to make this easier for everybody, I'm going to face this. So here and here. Let's try and remove some of that crack too back there. So I'm just going to slice down here. Like, I know I got to slow down so you guys understand. I'm just going to go like this. And I'm going to go like this. Okay, so. And then we'll draw the face on. Okay, so that's done. and the back's done. We only got that much crack left in there now. So let's just show you the side. You don't have to do this. I just did this so it's easier for you guys to see on the drawing. It just makes this, now my owl head's going to be a little bit smaller. I really don't care. So your owl head, we want to push it. We want our owl head to be over more this way and the body more that way. But with this little one, I don't really think it makes a difference. So there's his head coming down. Let me put this on a wider view. Coming down, and then this one's going to be looking sideways over its wings. All right, so his wing's going to be here, and the other wing's going to be on the back side of it. So I'm just going to go like this and cut there, here. You can cut in here like that to give it some shape. Like if you look at this owl really has no shape. It's just kind of square. Boom, 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 a rectangle. So like doing what I'm doing here is make it so your owl is kind of leaning. That's how they sit, and their talons would be down there. So that's where I'm going to stop carving it and have talons there. Then we'll make the wing down there. Carry on. I'm just going to cut this out on here, then I'll move it over to there. So I'm just going to cut like this, cut down here, cut. Let's move this head over. I usually make my, I've been practicing to do better owls, giving them bigger heads. But you see how that's what we're going for. See, boom, boom, like that. Okay, sorry, I'll try and do this so I'm not in the way. Oh, wrong saw. So you can turn this, these carving bars are good for turning in the wood, but I'm just going to go like this. Okay. See, I could have turned it, but I'm going to go like this. Just cleaning up that cut mark. Okay, let's just go. There you go, pony boy. Little silly hooter. Now I'll take it off there and put the screws on my hydraulic jack so we can carve the base and stuff. Actually, I have a better idea. I'm going to use my jaw horse. This is real handy to have too. This is just a board, like a 2x12 or whatever, with a square block on the bottom. You can put that down in your jaw horse. That will be too short for me to work on. There you go, it's locked in. Put your owl up here. Let's get your drill, some screws. These ones are a little bit long, but whatever. Oops, gotta change the drill bit. Timber screws are really good. These are just deck screws. And remember, you're going to be carving down here, so don't put them near the front. It's just simple things. You gotta. I probably only need one, but I'll use two. That man bending over, putting screws in a little hooter. Okay, so let's get set up and draw this owl and start carving. Okay, so I'm going to basically show you the way Uncle Kevin and Ryan Cook taught me. So, got your center line. Now, you guys can't see on the video, but I'm going to put a line here, then a line here. The more that you do, you don't have to draw these lines on, and then a line here, and a line here. So what I'm going to do is get my saw, and I'm going to swoosh this cut out. Boom. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. There's different ways to do it. I do it different ways sometimes, but this is, I think, the easiest. So I'm going to go swoosh, take that out, swoosh, take this one up, take this one out. Try and make them the same thing. Then once you got those cut out, let's go a bit farther back. Once you got those cut out, then you get your saw, then you go boom down here to about wherever you want. You'll just have to see. So I'll show you an overhead right now. All right, so swoosh, this one swoosh, then cut, boom, on any angle you want. Now maybe some angles are better, some angles are worse. I just don't know. So let's do this one here. Okay, then we'll do this one. Now we'll do this one. Stand by. I gotta think. Like sitting here having a little break, looking at the screen, you already see an owl in there. Look, you see an eye there. You see an eye there. Then you can have a little beak where that center line is. That's how we're gonna kind of draw it on. That's a good screenshot right there. Yep. Good screenshot. I love hearing birds. I'm thinking I'm going to build another, get another old fence board and build another nest box today. Anyways, break's over. So once again, how can I do this? Center line. Now where do you want to have your beak? Where do you want to have your wing? Let's go like this. So I need to try and make this side like that side, and it's kind of impossible to do. Filming. Now you can do it high. You can take your beak up higher. Usually, sometimes when I'm doing owls, the problem that I run into is I make my beaks too high. But it's okay. Like, that's why Uncle Kevin, Ryan Cook's best friend, he says owls are great to do for beginning chainsaw carvers because they're fantasy. Or Dremel carvers, because they're fantasy and they can be whatever you want them to be. So there's that. Now you see by those cuts, now see how your beak sticks off? This would be the beak. We got lots of depth to carve in here. This cut is a little bit too much maybe. Doesn't matter, because you're going to have your top little horn things. Sorry. Come down here like that. This is going to be his head in here. So what I'm going to do, well, I guess I could draw his eyes on now. Let's give you the wider view here. So this would be the fluffy things around his eyes. You can touch, I try and draw them on. The better that you draw them on, same as that side, the better it's going to work out for you. But for me, they're never perfect. But the more perfect that you make them, the more perfect your carving is going to be. So what I'm going to do with my saw, I'm going to be running the 8-inch bar now. So I'm going to cut along here. Then I'm going to come along this side. I'm going to cut along here. Then I'm going to do an undercut, remove some wood underneath there so this part's elevated. Then I'm going to cut here and along this line and remove some of this wood here. So it's wood carving is elevating things, if that makes sense to you. Because I can also come here and cut inside here too. Cut. Remove some wood to make these little fins stick higher and kind of round this off up here. Maybe I'll just run it live, so I think so. Okay, you guys see all right there? My mic working? Yeah. So okay, we'll remove some of that wood under there. Be careful around that beak. Like, always watch, go true to the line so you're holding your saw center, because if you cut it like that, the tip of your bar, see that? You're going to have an undercut there, then your beak's going to, once you start rounding it off, it's going to turn into nothing. Okay, now the eyes. Now you don't have to remove this wood. You can also go like this so it has like some fluff things underneath it. can remove the wood. Silly little fluffer owl. Hey, just carve Rob, gotta love those fluffer owls. Okay, so there you got your eyes established. That one's a little bit. We'll pull out the die grinder and make these all equal as best we can. So there's your basic block out. Now, you know, you could get your chainsaw and you can scoop in these eyes. Like, use the bottom, like, for the very beginners, try not to use the top of your bar. Here's a pen. When you're using the tip, use down here. Anything up here, you can, but wait till you're, ow, that's hot. Is there oil in here? Wait till you're more experienced. So use the bottom, kind of like this. That will create less chance of a kickback if you use the bottom and not the top. I'll scoop the rest of this in with my die grinder. Now, your wing. Let's give you a full. This other side's the same. Now your wing, you got to redraw it back on. Now, do we want to give this one a tail? Because if you give it a tail, your wing, you know, those owls have little things underneath their beak too, little fluffer things. Your wing, put it right here. Center line over here, because you have to have your back wing connect to your, let's see, center line. Then you can have a tail here if you want. I don't think I'm going to give this one a tail. I think I'm just going to go like this with his wing. Like, yeah, big deal. My owl doesn't have a freaking tail. It's a tailless owl. You have tailless cats, you have tailless dogs. Why can't you have tailless owls? So now I'm going to go along with my saw, cut one of these lines right here. That's a good line. Cut it, then remove the wood on both sides. You know, when you're doing the owls, like, you have to do the back wing too, so I kind of just draw a line across. And it's the back of the piece, so don't really worry about it, man. I don't know. I don't. Okay, now we'll start removing the wood on that cut. Oops, got to do the back. Okay. You know, for the very beginners also, you can scrape the wood with the top of your bar. It cleans it. That's how I'll get rid of these pen marks. And this big cut mark here. I'm going to finish doing this on the back of the wing and then I'll be back. And now's a good time. You want to round everything off kind of as best you can. It's break time. Break time. What do you think of that little fluffer owl so far, just carve, Rob? It's got no tail. Fluffer owls don't have to have tails. Okay, so let's take a quick look at this. You can bring your wings back here so the tips are like that if you wanted to. Probably would look better. I'll do that off camera. I'll just cut this line, remove that wood. You know, so the wings really are connected to the body right about here somewhere, I think. So that doesn't even need to be off the owl. Don't hold me to it. Probably around there or something. That's how, like, the wings have to connect to the body. The talons, so here's this. The talons, how I do them, I'll just, well, I kind of cut that a little bit low, but let's just go like this. Boom. This. So I'll just cut out that block. Then I'll just do 1, 2. What do they have? 3 claws? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, something like that. 1, 2, 3. And I just cut, and carve it so like most of their talons are tucked under their body, and you just see the claws kind of sticking out. And this will just be like a slate rock down here or something. Oops. Okay, I need to have another break. Man, it's a beautiful day. They're calling for rain today. Shows how much the weatherman knows. I also got I got those pine boards down there to carve too. I forgot about those. I got some dirt in here with some chicken manure in there. Got to get some plants. Start seeing that when I water the plants, the water will come out of that one eye, and over the years you'll start getting, it'll get worn away and moss on it and stuff. So that's where I got the drain hole for the planter, down that one eye. Anyways, back to it, break time. So well, before I have my break, this is your typical carving owl pattern. Kind of like this. So then here you kind of go like, they're supposed to be round, I believe, on real owls. But then here you kind of, you can give it texture and however you want to do it. This one's a small wing and it's a fantasy owl. Then you got your bigger feathers down here. I'm just going to leave that the way it is. I better cut it off. Yeah, I'm going to do that right now. So you can see how that goes. It's just... No, I'm just going to leave it the way it is. And you want to make everything round before you start carving in your detail. Like, you want to make sure you're happy with the scale of it and everything. See how this wing's round? Yeah, I'm going to cut the bottom of those wings out like that. I gotta try it. I gotta try it at least somewhat hard on this owl. It's gonna be for a prize. So like for example, when you're learning something, and this just comes from experience, when you're learning something, take your time. Don't be a Jordy. I'd be a way better artist if I learned how to take my time, figure out how to do it properly first, then apply the speed. So I'm going to cut on these lines, your main lines. Then I'm going to do one cut, just one cut. Then I'm going to go like this with the tip of my bar, which I don't suggest for the very beginners, because you can get the kickback, right? You don't want the kickback. Or I can just do an upcut. Okay, well, sometimes you just gotta go over here. So, you know, this is really small. See how chippy this cedar is? I'm going to finish the rest of this with my die grinder. I'll do the back wing, hook up my die grinder, my Dremel, and then we'll start, and I'll block out these feet first. Okay, so there's your Makita 800C, the David Grass kick-ass grinder. This thing rips. This is sorry about the lighting. This is a cut saw 1/4 inch silver burr flame, so it's not that aggressive. You see there at the top, see how it's plugged up? I don't care what anybody says. Cut saw even suggests just get a torch and burn it out. So I just okay, so let's get some better lighting here. So yeah, you can see how the burning did that. This is not even hot. You don't want to make this too hot because you don't want the heat to get into your bearings. This die grinder does have speed control too. Some people soak them in WD-40 overnight, these burrs, or get a they don't even say use a metal brush, use a copper brush to get the stuff out. But look, man, burning worked for me. That's what I do. So you guys saw what die grinder I'm using, what bit I'm using. I'm also going to use a Dremel. I did cut the feet in, so I'll just show you what I'm talking about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sometimes they only have 5. Who cares? So, but I cut them in big, but these will be a lot smaller by the time I'm carving with the Dremel. Just to give you a thing, so like the tips of the claws are sticking out from the owl. Right, so I need to make this a bit more rounder. I could take some of this off more to round this out, but it's okay. People are going to be looking at this like this. So, but the more you make it round, the more time you put into it, the better it's going to be. That's for sure. So when I'm carving this, I'm going to have my mask on. I'm just going to quickly carve these so they're nice and clean. And I think the rest of this, oh, and I'm going to scoop in these eyes a bit more. I'm going to round this off. I'm going to go around, clean everything up, right? So scoop in the eyes, around the forehead. Maybe put my, no, I'll do that later. And just clean it up. Might as well bring this piece in and clean it up at the same time. Okay, so I'm not going to bother hooking up my microphone. So now what I do is I'll look at the piece to see if this is the same depth as this side. I see this one goes a little bit back more than this one. Make sure these are the same height. This one's a bit higher than this one. It really doesn't matter, but it does if you're going for perfectionist, right? This one's a bit lower. This under the beak flapper thing, this beak needs to be carved back lower, so I'll probably end up carving this deeper, but it's good to carve it in early so you know where you want to put it, right? It doesn't need to have that. It's a fantasy owl. So I got my die grinder, did those talons a little bit more. I'll remove some more in there and there'll just be little claws sticking out. Now when I'm at the chainsaw tent, I run the Dremel 4300, no flex shaft. This is a Mampa cutter. Okay, this is like a $30 or $40 bit, but you see the teeth on it. You can turn them when they start getting dull too. There's little Allen keys in there. You can even buy new cutters once these are worn out. But I'm going to go along and texture the top of this wing and all in here. All the way around. I'm just going to do cuts like boom, 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 all the way around. Up in here, boom, 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 boom. Down here, boom, 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 and around the back of the head. And crack, when you look at the owl this way, what crack? You see a little crack right up here because I curved the head back to help hide the crack. There's the center of the log. Now, but if you look at the back, there's a big crack there. What I could do is get some cedar shims and epoxy them in there, but I just don't really have the time. And it would be a huge, well, I'm going to do that. I'm going to get some epoxy, mix up some epoxy, get some cedar shims, bang them in there, fill that crack. Then once I burn this, you will see the cedar shakes in there. You'll see that line, but it still gets rid of the crack. Anyways, I'm going to do this. I like to use this. This is an aggressive bit. This bit here will send you to the hospital if it hits you. Well, it could send you to the hospital. So I like to have 2 tans, but let me just go here to give you an example. I'll just use one hand. See what I'm talking about? The cedar's pretty chippy. So if you don't have one of these burrs, or if you can't even afford it, Mappa sent these to me for free. Because I don't know if I'd buy this. It's expensive. They make them for the die grinders too. Here is a die grinder one. This is the round one. So that one's a pointy one. This one has round cutters on it. This one goes in the die grinders. They have the round one and the pointy ones, both for the die grinders, the 1/4 inch, and the Dremels. These are awesome bits though, that's for sure. If you don't have those bits, you can use these cheap Chinese cutters. There's 3 cutters on them, 1/8 for your Dremel. Or you could use, I don't think I have one here, the aluminum cutter that I use for wood spirit beard hairs, and use it on the edge. And I don't see one here, but it's quite messy down there. Anyways, I'm going to get all that done, and then we'll talk about what's next. Okay, so I kind of did a few things not filming. I carved that beak flapper thing down a bit lower. I carved in the talons. See how they just quickly done that? Now, for the very beginners, this is the Dremel 125 bit. This carves and burns the wood at the same time. See how dull that is? I think the duller this is, the better it burns. One, two, three, four, yep, 6 toes. 6 talon toes. So what next? I think when I look at this piece, I can see this is a little bit higher than this. See that? That's higher than that. So I'm going to get my die grinder, quickly carve some of this away, make it higher. And also what I'm going to do at the same, well, where's a pen? So your beak, you know, here's your beak. Then here's the top piece. And you can, once we carve this beak in deeper in there, then we'll round this off, and then we'll do a bunch of lines like this. So I'm going to do those. You know what, actually right now, let's carve this beak in. Let me hook up the bit. Actually, yeah, I got to hook up a proper bit. So this is the only way I can film. This is the Cutsaw 1/8 taper burr. See, it's like a cone, a reverse cone. The taper burrs come long or they come short like this. This is the silver one. Looks like a beak to me. Okay, so there we go. Now, this is the Mampa. They sell these. Mampa sells all their tools on Amazon. This is the eyeball cutter. This isn't a die grinder. That my DeWalt battery 20 volt one. They come in many different sizes. From this size, see what's coned in there? You can make your own. I have a video up on, I did a couple years ago or last year. Now here's a big one. Now they come in sets. And well, they even come with little ones in the set. Where's my set? Boom! Look at this. There's the set. Come in a box. How many do you get? 8 pieces. Look at all these burrs I got in here. Yeah. Old Typhoon burrs in there. Yeah, look at that old Typhoon burr. Saber Fordham. Now you can carve your eyes in, or you can use the Mampa cutter. Like that owl there, I carved them in. They're not the best, but they say they're eyes. I think this one, like if I drew some eyes in like that, I think it's better if I just burn them in. Now my problem is trying to make them equal on both sides. Like if you look at this little hooter, one of his eyes is a little bit lower. They're pretty good, but let's burn the eyes in. I don't think I was filming, but look how smoky it is in here. That one's in tighter than that one. So I'm just going to try and reburn this one in a bit. We'll burn this one out a bit. Okay, good enough, I think. Yeah, see what's happened is this side's lower, so I need to carve this one down a bit. Okay, so you can see that this eye is just a little bit in more than that eye, but maybe that eye is a little bit higher than that eye. Okay, so now I'm going to use the same cut saw burr, and I'm just going to do cuts like this. And then down here too. Or should they go like this? Either which way you want to go. And then I'm going to do this side, this. Then I'm going to pull that 125 Dremel bit out and then burn inside there. Burn inside the cut marks. acrylic paint. There you go. There's a silly little fluffer owl. So there's a little hooter done. I signed it. I gave it the Show Susie band at the bottom. For all you beginning carvers, this is Scotch-Brite pad, M3 pads on ready rod with a nut on the top, 2 nuts on the back with washers. And this is called a mop sander. That's how I sanded the owl. I know I burn my stuff deep, but that's the way she goes. Now, let's give you a full 360. Unfortunately, I didn't have any cedar shake, so I wasn't able to fix that crack. But whatever, it's not too bad. You're not going to look at whoever wins this isn't going to look at the piece from behind anyways. What you should do is you should put it on a fence post and put it so if you got a shitty neighbor you don't like, so put it so they have to look at the crack on the owl. Yeah, that's how I do it anyways. But all my neighbors are pretty good. So now I got to, before I pull out the airbrush, did I already say that? I gotta start grinding this thing down. I'm gonna take this off and then I'm gonna put a screw in there and just work on it with my die grinder. Carry on, carry on. I don't think you're gonna get a better fit than that. Yeah. Alright, so I got this cut the shape. There's some stuff, knots and stuff in there, don't care. I got this cut the shape the best I could do. I'm going to take it home and sand it on my Dremel table. I want to spend some good time sanding this to get all the grains and colors to pop. And I'll just spray it a clear coat. It fits nice and perfect right there. I just I pulled out the airbrush. I just repainted this and all down there. So yeah, and the light fits perfect back in there. What I'll do to support this light is I'll get a little tiny drill bit, drill some little holes, and get like a little tiny nail and just slide the nail in with a little bit of caulking on the end of the nail. So if this light ever needs to be replaced, it will be easy to replace it. Yeah, because no lights last forever, and this is not a cheap piece. So I got the airbrush hooked up. What's this? This is the clips. Lots of you guys buy the stuff that I got. I buy lots of the stuff that Ryan Cook has. This is the one that Ryan Cook uses, so this is the one that I bought. It's not cheap. I've had this for like a year and a half. I just started using it. The paint, I just got some. What kind of paint do I got? I just got some paint from Amazon. I just looked at the reviews. It said good reviews, so I got it. Where is it? This stuff. But it's black. U.S. Air Supply. Airbrush colors. It's kind of weird. The white, and I got some thinner here too. The white, the black goes nice and smooth, but the white kind of comes out blotchy, and I even put some reducer in it. So now I'm just going to paint around these eyes a bit, around the wings, in here. It just gives highlights. It's I think it's a huge upgrade. You know, it's like any tool. You have to get used to using it. I haven't reduced my air pressure or anything, and just I do it full blast. Just like anything else, the more that you do, the better you'll get. So I'm all packed, ready to head home. You guys want to see something? I just went and got it from the house. When Judy and Scott used to live in the house, this was one of my first soapstone carvings that I did. Look at the size of this. This is soapstone. It's a mountain. It's mountains and a sun. That's where it's gonna stay. It's a piece of art. Hides by ashtray. Anyways. So here we are once again. I brought the little fluffer home with me. Now, his eyes, a little bit like that. This one's a little bit lower. No big deal. So hopefully some of you can possibly learn something from that. Here's the crack. No big deal. And this is going to be a gift for the chip-in giveaway. Here's this piece. I'm going to use my my Dremel with the sanding mandrel on it. This is emery cloth sandpaper. It's Klingspor. It's super soft. Sanding mandrel. You'll see this stuff's kind of red. I'm going to show you guys an early preview. This is a carving I did yesterday. It's for the chip-in giveaway too. It's a backflow incense burner. Now, this was a tricky carve. I'm going to put this video out first. Then you guys will see this video. I wasn't even going to put this video out because I don't really like this carving that much. But there's ways to fix your carvings. I used the Bombay mahogany. I sanded it right away. I didn't like it. I didn't really say in the video. This head was skinny. It was hard to do, but I did it. I pulled it off, I think. But what I'm going to do, I brought my airbrush home. I'm going to paint this whole thing black and put some, maybe some of that metallic red leaf on it and the black leaf over top of it. I'm going to make this a lot better than it looks now. Because if I'm going to be giving stuff away, well, people that are chipping in, I want them to be good things that I'm happy with. So I'm happy with this little hooter. I still got to spray the clear finish on it too. I just want to make sure I have enough because I want this to be shiny. So the light will go inside here, and I talked to the farmer, and he says, yeah, it's a good idea. Drill some little holes, put a nail in there, and it will support the light. But I got to sand this. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. And I'll probably be here for a couple hours doing it because I want to sand it, not a couple hours, maybe like 20 minutes. I want to sand it really nice, man. I could fill this with that black epoxy sculpt, that hole. But I like it. It's natural, right? I want that whole owl piece with the light for the light. I want it to be natural. Think this looks like a mushroom thing? I don't know. If it doesn't, I don't care. I brought my airbrush home too, because I was going to paint maybe a little black line here. We'll see how it goes. I don't know if I said earlier about this piece. I wasn't even going to upload the video, but I think there is some knowledgeable stuff. If anybody wants to carve backflow burners, I'll upload this video after this video is uploaded. Now, this, I spent a long time sanding this. I sure did. Yep. You know, there's so much trickery in this wood. The grain goes everywhere. You know, I think like there's holes all over it. I think I missed spots, and I think I made it dirty, but that dark stuff there, that's in the wood in the center of the screen there. That's in the wood itself. So I think what I'm going to do with this one, I'm running out of steam here. Don't forget I haven't slept. It's like 3 in the afternoon now. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an epoxy pour on this one. Let it drip off, because I know with epoxy, I got this stuff here. I know with epoxy, it sure makes the color of the wood pop. Like, wow, it really does. So I'm going to pour this, and then I'm going to hang it, let everything drip off, and I'll have to come in the room and check it once in a while with a heat gun to make sure there's no bubbles in it. You definitely don't want pooling inside of there. You know, it's going to be shiny. If the first coat might not make it that shiny, because this might just suck it in, absorb it. I don't know. I haven't really put too much coat on poplar wood. But if it is too shiny, I'll just spray it with Rust-Oleum matte clear, right? So you can see how neat the Show Susie band now looks. It's a neat little owl. I like it. Besides, the eyes kind of drive me nuts, but they always do. Just go like this. There you go. So yeah, I'm going to have to carry this video on tomorrow, and I'm going to do the epoxy pour. Hopefully this is dry by tomorrow, and we'll place it in the light and see how it looks. Yep. Carry on. So it's now the next day. I got the epoxy on here. That's all dry. When you do the epoxy on pour it over top of a wood, you have to be careful, because this would be called like a seal coat, because you have to seal the wood first. Like, don't pour it on too thick, because this wood has gases in it and it will bubble on the epoxy, and you could turn into a real nightmare. So I just put it on real thin. Some parts are shiny, some parts are flat, because this is more porous and it sucked the epoxy in more. But I don't want this to be shiny anyways, so I'm going to take it outside and give it a good few coats of that matte Rust-Oleum finish over top of it. But you can see the cool grains in here. Got a lot of weird stuff going in this wood. It was tricky to sand. It was playing tricks with my mind. So I got the light put in. I just drilled some little holes, got some little nails, put a little bit of hot glue on the end of the nails, pushed them in the holes. This light will never come undone. It's replaceable. So if whoever buys this piece a couple years down the road says, Jordy, the light's not working, I says, well, if you want to pay me, I can come over and change the light for you. Just pull these nails out, pop it out. These lights come in 2 pieces, so this plugs into the piece that goes into the wall. So I guess now take it outside, spray the mat on it, and do grand finale Jordy Does. Let's light the owl up and see how this looks. I don't know if it looks like a friggin' mushroom thing, like one of those tree funguses, but it's good enough for me. And I think it looks what was the word that I was using yesterday? It looks natural. Anyways, this was a lot of work to try and fit it in there too. Okay, so I got it in there. I had to screw from the backside in there, drill holes. That was kind of a nightmare, but it's a little bit crooked. But that's okay. So am I. Just to show you guys, I mixed some of this black epoxy sculpt up. Way too much. But I covered where the screws going on the back. Like you'll see this, you could have saw the screw threads inside there. So I want this piece to be as flawless as possible. And I put it on the back where the holes are. Okay, here we are in the museum gallery of Jordy Johnson's living room. Who remembers the Wise Tale? That was a lot of work. This one lights up. So there it is for now. I'm just going to, I don't have any room. I could tuck it in where the gargoyle is. But let's close these blinds, try and make it darker in here and see how she lights up. I haven't even seen yet. Well, it's as dark as I can make it in here, so let's turn it on. Oh, it's on. Oh, yes. Yes. Thanks for the great idea, Larry. Man, that's freaking wicked. So you all know, I've tried my best to make this like a air-proof piece, like no mistakes. People can't point out anything. I'm super happy with the way that turned out. I can't wait to do the next one. Hope beside that thing's a little bit crooked. The burl thing, don't care. Don't care. Hope everybody's doing grand. Carve Fusion, over and out. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. It is, Larry. That thing's a little bit crooked. I put it in there, but fuck, it was hard to do. There's farther away. Fuck, that's cool, man. Grand idea, buddy. Grand.